What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of Quick Trick Record of the Day, whatever I feel like calling it. My name is Ellsworth, also known as Sid Highwind, and just want to say thank you for watching anything I put up about these tunes that I adore so much. And if you feel so inclined, leave a like on this. Lets me know that you're out there. I'm not trying to make any money on this stuff. I just want to know that people enjoy it because I love this stuff. I like talking about it, I like sharing it, and I like hearing it from other people too. So let me know, please, and thank you. Let's get into it. Roland, Can't Punish Me. Fucking Christ, this song. Where to start? Where to begin with this joint? Those iconic stabs, those David Bowie-esque stabs, which we'll talk about afterwards. Sliding bass line, that strange Can't Punish Me vocal. One of the top tunes to ever come out on Moving Shadow. First time I heard this, I knew it was something special. Everybody did when I heard it on System Upgrade from Diesel Boy. Something was up, man. Something was up. I'm not even going to talk that much over this. This is such a tune, such a classic, such a perfect work that I don't want to step on it too much. So I'm going to let it ride out, and I'll get in here and there, but just let it do its thing, you know? So I'm actually going to do something I don't normally do, which is kind of pull this out a little bit early, just because I have a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to this jam. And in the interest of time, I figured I should just probably get to it instead of letting the last 2 or 3 minutes of this tune run out. It's going to do basically the same thing it did in the first half. The amens are going to crush in and then pull out, and it's masterfully done. But I have some things that I want to get to when it comes to this one. So let's get the routine information out of the way first. So this is Can't Punish Me by Dom and Roland. In case this is your first rodeo, Dom and Roland is one person. I don't feel like I need to explain that any more than that, but it's just one person. It's not a team. It's Dom and his Roland. And this came out in the year 2000 on Moving Shadow. One of my favorite labels. Just the image of it, everything about it. You know, these guys put out a lot of great music over the years, but I think this is probably their most visible tune. Maybe when they got Noisia on there, doesn't matter. In my opinion, this is the most visible tune on Moving Shadow. It just was such a, it was a banger, man. It really fucking was. And it came out again in 2002 on Dom Roland's full album, Back for the Future, which I actually never listened to the whole thing, but fair fucks, I'm sure it's good. Now, I first heard it, like I said before, on System Upgrade from Diesel Boy. And side note, you know, Diesel Boy is still out there crushing it and probably always will be, but it's impossible to overstate how important he was for people like in my age group that are involved in drum and bass in the late 90s, because you could buy these CDs in the store and it wasn't just some mixtape that you got at a rave. It was this well-produced thing, and he was putting out these albums, these mix albums, that were showing us where drum and bass was going. You know, they were upfront tracks from people that were just cranking out the next style. And, I mean, The Messiah came off of Diesel Boy, not originally, but, you know, that's where most of us first heard it. There's countless tunes and countless styles that kind of got birthed in that early 2000s, late 90s era that just, I'll be talking about them again, but this is one of those tunes that just was on System Upgrade, and it stood out, man. My friend Johnny was like, this is my favorite tune on the whole album, and yeah, it was one of those great tunes there. So, a lot of folks had a problem with this tune when they first grabbed it. And it's the beginning. It's that weird, it almost sounds like he's testing his drums, you know, like he's kind of reversing snares and testing out kicks and stuff like that. And there's actually some threads you can find on the old DOA forum talking about how, like, what the fuck is he doing and how unfair is this? And it still is in time. It's 22 seconds and then the stabs come in. For a long time, I would just use it as an intro tune. But I heard Danny the Wild Child drop this like in the middle of a break and let those stabs kind of come in as soon as the previous track kind of crashed in, almost double dropped it into the stabs. And that's when I started thinking to myself, you can actually use this. You can actually mix into this, because I heard Diesel Boy play it and it was like he was just blending it in slowly. He didn't let it crash in. So I've been playing it a lot recently as well, just because you have the benefit of perfection using digital stuff. You're not going to miss too much, versus on a record, it's a little harder to tell if you're on beat or not. Not an excuse. I could probably still do it, but whatever. But yeah, it's a great tune, man. It really is one of my favorites from Moving Shadow and from Dom and Roland. I mean, the guy's been up front for a long time, making amazing music, kind of at the top of drum and bass, in my opinion. He's one of those producers that can just play his own stuff, and I would never be bothered. You know, I saw him play Elements in Boston a couple years ago, and he just tore it down. Meticulous level work. I mean, he's a real virtuoso when it comes to this stuff. So, cheers to him. But the other part of this I wanted to talk about was those stabs, and I mentioned before that they were David Bowie-esque. The thing about that is Bowie actually called Dom up when this came out, and there's a funny story about it that I want to show you. So those iconic stabs that are in this tune are actually sampled from David Bowie, like I've been alluding to this whole time. More specifically from one of his better known hits, Let's Dance. The story goes that there were always pranks going on in the Moving Shadow office back in the day, a lot of which would include like prank calls to one another, with the instigator posing as a different publication, outside artist, that sort of thing. And when the tune made its way to Bowie's ears, he decided to call Dom and tell him how much he loved it. Dom assumed that it was just a joke from one of the other guys around Moving Shadow's office, and he promptly told Mr. Ziggy Stardust to fuck off and hung up on him. The label then informed him that they actually did give Bowie his number, and they should have him call again, perhaps. So they ended up talking for a while about the tune and Bowie's love for D&B and breakbeat culture and all that. And it turned out that not only did Bowie used to own the building where Moving Shadow was located, but his old writing room was actually the same room that Dom had been using for his studio. So that's just some small world coincidence stuff right there. Bowie's love for this music is no secret. Just check out the album Earthling for plenty of evidence of that. Also, he was really close with Goldie, and I think he's featured on a song called Truth on his second album. I mean, Bowie was already the coolest guy to ever set foot on Earth, but I think this involvement with our particular little subgenre scene just pushes him over the top there, makes him just top 5 coolest people ever. So, a little extra story for you that I thought was interesting. But that is going to do it for this one, my friends. I appreciate you sticking around for this long one. Like I said, it was just a lot of cool information here that I wanted to share with everybody. So hopefully you dig it as much as I did. And I will talk to you soon. Peace.